Yes, guys, big up to everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for joining me yet again on another show. Hope you're all doing well, guys. Before we start, guys, please let me know if you can hear me. Everyone spam ones in the chat. If my audio sounds fine, spam ones in the chat. I hope you're all doing good, guys. Hope everyone's doing good. We got obviously you've seen the title of the video as well. Um, yeah, the title of the video is interesting, man. Look, people are going to be maybe upset what I'm going to say. People might understand what I'm going to say. But look, guys, we're just going to have a discussion about it, man. We're going to have a discussion about it. But let me know if you can hear me in the chat, guys. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. I need someone to answer me. Let me know if you can hear me, guys. Audio's fine. Big up. Excellent. Excellent. We can move on then. So, we're going to be talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold. But before we do that, guys, you know what to do around here. Go and smash that like button. Share, subscribe, all that good stuff, guys. And, yeah, big up, Corey. I know what you're saying. I agree already. Big up, Corey. Right. Look, we're going to get to this. But first, I just need to say, look, it's interesting, the Trent stuff, because people take it very much to heart. So please, when I'm talking about this Trent stuff, guys, don't feel like I'm insulting anyone or I'm having a go at anyone or anyone feels down about it. Look, it's my opinion, my honest opinion about Trent Alexander-Arnold. I'm going to go through it. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to be I'm not going to be insulting anyone's intelligence or anything like that. I just want to have a conversation about Trent. That's all I want to do, guys. So have just comfortable, honest conversation about Trent Alexander-Arnold. Also, obviously, I think talking about Liverpool in general as well, you know, there's some things I'm not happy with the football club right now. There's some things I'm not happy with what I'm watching right now as a Liverpool fan in general. There's some things I might have to talk about in a future video that might shock people and it might irritate people, upset people. It might get me cancelled as well. I ain't gonna lie. And that's in a future video, man. That's probably tomorrow's video, or if I can squeeze a late night video in, it might be tonight. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, it might get me cancelled, that video. I ain't gonna lie. But big up to everyone. Trent Alexander-Arnold. So look, the man's 25 years of age now. He's 25 years of age. He's won everything at Liverpool Football Club, as we know. Majority of his time, he has played right back, and he's been a phenomenal right back in his time at Liverpool Football Club. I'm not going to sit here and pretend his achievements he hasn't got are not out of this world. He's got the most assists. He's got the most assists out of any defender in Premier League history. All the stats back it up, man. He's been a phenomenal footballer for some time. And he's a phenomenal footballer now. He's a tremendous footballer. He's a world class talent. There is no doubt about that. With the football at his feet, there is hardly anyone better. And I love Trent. I really do. But my whole thing on Trent is that the right back situation at this time in his career. As I said, he's 25 years of age now. He'll actually be 26 in October. So we're not talking about a kid anymore with Trent. This is one thing we've got to remember with Trent now. We're not talking about a kid. He's going to be 26 in October. He's a grown ass man. And because he's a grown ass man, I think we've got to have a proper conversation about him personally. Obviously, we know what Trent's strengths are. Trent Alexander-Arnold's strengths are: he's good at high pressing, he's good at getting hold of the ball, he's good at interceptions. They're his strengths. His strengths are one of the reasons why, for me, he's got away with playing right back for as long as he has, because his weaknesses are there to see. We all know his weaknesses, but his strengths are so good, they outnumber the weaknesses in his position. Now, as an attacking right back, as an attacking right back, there ain't many better attacking right backs in world football for me. And on the ball, he's absolutely amazing. We know this. His passing range is fantastic. He can pass the ball from anywhere on the pitch. He can do the short passes, the long passes, the quick threaded through passes, the balls into feet. He's got the whole. He's got everything in it. He can do the outside of the boot. He's very good on his weak foot when he comes on his left. I don't think Trent actually gets credit for that. How good Trent is actually on his left foot. Talk about players being two-footed. I don't think Trent's two-footed, but he's very good in his left foot. And again, I don't think he ever gets real credit for that personally. But and all these attributes are tremendous. They're tremendous attributes in his game. His interceptions, his high pressing, his passing ability, um, his goal involvements. But when I say all that, high pressing, interceptions, goal involvements, passing ability, if I'm just describing a player like that, what sort of player am I describing? Am I describing a defender? Or am I describing a midfielder? You know what I'm saying? You know, am I describing like his interceptions are really high? He can read the game actually really well when the game is in front of him. When the game's in front of him, Trent actually reads the game pretty well. That's why he's got high interception rate. It's the problem with Trent is when the game's behind him, and that's the issue for Trent. That's why when he goes into these midfield positions, he looks comfortable in the ball in midfield, and his interceptions are really high in midfield because he's got the game in front of him. But when the game goes behind him, he has a few issues. That's why I don't want him in his false right back role anymore. But when am I identifying a player that has got high interception rate, can read the game pretty well when the game's in front of him, has got a great ability of passing the ball and can get goal contributions as well. He's got very high goal contributions. I'm pretty much describing what a midfielder is. Now, I'm pretty much describing what a midfielder is. Now, this is where people get me. This is where big up Lakers. This is big up Aaron as well. Big up Scraps. Big up Muller. Big up Andrew. How you doing? Well. Big up Daz as well in the chat. This is where people might think I don't want Trent in the team. I do want Trent in the team. I know there's some people that don't want Trent in the team now, right? I do want Trent in the team. So when I'm having these discussions, I've had these discussions multiple times, and people keep thinking I don't want Trent in the side, which is mad. I actually do want Trent in the side. I just don't want him in the right back inverted anymore. That's all. Now, people will say that we've only lost one or two games with Trent being inverted since last April. And that's true. They're not lying when they say that either. But have we played well? Have we played well in the areas where. Have we played well in them areas where Trent is inverting? In all them games, have we played it? Have we looked good on the eye? Have we looked like we can take teams apart? Have we looked exceptional? Or have we just gone about business and won them games? But there's still a worry at the back when Trent inverts. I understand Klopp doing it as well. The Klopp inverting, I get it. I absolutely get it. I understand why he does it. Because Trent from that midfield, from that defensive point of view, Trent inverting and becoming an extra body in midfield, I can get it. I understand it because out of all our defenders, Trent's the best at it. And you can't, I'm not going to say he's wrong at doing it either. We control the midfield better. Trent goes inverted, against low press teams. We have like four in midfield. We can control the central area. But my problem when we go inverted is we play too narrow. And people will say I'm reactionary, but if you've been watching my channel for a long time, I've been saying it for about 18 months now. How narrow Liverpool play. We play everything through the middle. Now, everything goes through the middle of our team now. We don't have no width to our side like we used to. Back with Klopp, and Pep Linder's back a few years back, Robbo and Trent were marauding fullbacks. They weren't cutting inside. They were keeping their width. They were running down the wide areas. They were overlapping their wingers. Robbo would overlap Mane, Trent would overlap Salah, and that would help Mane and Salah then come inside. But we could keep the width from our fullbacks, and that means our midfielders can find holes in the opposition's team, around the pitch. But we don't play like that no more. We play really narrow. Trent cuts inside, makes a third midfielder, in a fourth midfielder in that midfield three. Robbo then comes across, whoever's playing left back, Robbo or Gomez, whoever's playing left back, comes across and makes a third centre back. So you're playing like three at the back and then a really narrow midfield about keeping ball possession. And then how many times we all watch the game of football sometimes when Liverpool playing and we're constantly going through the middle, constantly going through the middle, constantly going through the middle. And we get broken down. That's what I keep getting frustrated with, because yes, it works because we do win games of football, and I suppose people will come on here in the chat now and say, "Look, we win games of football, Jamie. What's it matter?" I understand you guys, I really do, but to me, I just don't like it. Maybe it might be just me. It might be just me. I don't particularly like it. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like the way we play at the moment. I like the way Liverpool were playing when Trent was. I don't mean to sound is horrible, but when Trent was injured, I really liked the way we were playing, because Conor Bradley would keep the width. Yeah, Conor Bradley would keep the width down the right side. How many times Dominic Szoboszlai playing in the middle of the pitch, getting into the box, stuff like that? He can't do that when Trent plays, because Trent inverts. So if Trent inverts, Dominic Szoboszlai has to go into the wide areas and overlap. How many times do we get annoyed with that on this chat? I've seen it plenty of times. People getting annoyed with it. I think our football's too slow. I think our football's too slow as well. With Trent, when we play, we play to Trent's. I feel like when Trent plays, Liverpool play to Trent's strengths instead of playing to the strengths of the football team in general. Yeah, and the players in general, because you see it when Trent don't play. You got Conor Bradley or Gomez, whoever's playing right back. Szoboszlai's got more room in the middle. We're playing a bit quicker, more 1-2s, faster pace. When Trent's in the team, this is not Trent's fault, by the way, at all. I'm not blaming Trent for this. I'm blaming more of the management and the coaching staff for this. When Trent plays, we slow everything down. And we make sure Trent can pick up the balls in areas where he's going to be doing them Hollywood passes. Now, it's obviously instruction, because it happens every game. It can't be natural. It happens every game. So it's obviously instruction. Yeah. And we all get annoyed with it. We all get annoyed with it. How many times is the oppositional, as when we play the opposition, and the opposition have always got that diagonal pass, into them wide areas that makes us vulnerable. How many times a match did Liverpool get turned around when we lose possession and we find ourselves in a vulnerable position? We've got quality footballers on the pitch. People keep saying it. We've got people like Kanate and Allison at the back. Why do we concede so many chances continuously? It's because we always get turned around. And this is why everyone kept talking about a defensive midfielder. Right? If we got a world-class defensive midfielder in, it would stop most of this happening, where we look vulnerable on the turnaround. And as I kept saying, that might help 20, 30%. But as long as Trent's inverting, we're always going to be vulnerable on that diagonal. Teams are getting used to it now. How many times we watch Liverpool games where we're always like, oh, it's 0-0 after 20 or 30 minutes. We're like, and then the opposition team start to get into their groove. And the opposition team start to settle down and go, right, Liverpool haven't hurt us in 30 minutes. And then they start to find them diagonals across the pitch and start working into into our right channel, into our right-sided channel, and keep working into our right-sided channel. And then we look vulnerable on counter-attacks all of a sudden when we've been beating up a team for 30 minutes, but unfortunately haven't put the ball in the back of the net. And all of a sudden we look really vulnerable. It happens quite a lot. It happens quite a lot. And we can't sit here and pretend it don't. That would just be naive. Sitting here pretending that we don't. This never happens to us. I feel like with Trent, he's so good on the ball, you can't not have him in the team. I just feel like we need to find a position for him that suits the whole team in one. Do you know what I mean? That suits everybody. So, we look good on the ball when we got the ball because Trent's on the ball as well. I've always said it many times. Get Trent on the ball in attacking areas of the pitch because he's our most creative player. Technically, him and Mo Salah are our most creative players. So get them on the ball. You want your most creative players on the ball in attacking areas of the pitch. I don't see a problem with that comment. I really don't. Get them in attacking areas of the pitch. When Trent played right back the old-fashioned way, when he was a marauding right back going up and down the wing, Trent used to get in more attacking positions playing that way than he does now playing inverted. You only have to look at his stats. Just go and look at Trent's stats. When Trent played the old-fashioned right back, when he was up and down that right back area and he was like a right winger at times, like a right midfielder, how far him and Robbo used to push up and get in attacking areas of the pitch. He used to be more. We used to get Trent in more at devastating attacking areas of the pitch back then than we do now. What we do with Trent now, he inverts and he plays like a deep lining playmaker. Yeah. And he's trying to orchestrate the game, pass the ball about, be the quarterback for Liverpool sort of thing. Yeah. But back a few years back, like before we started doing this inverting stuff, Trent would be getting up and down the wing. He'd get in attacking areas of the pitch where we wanted Trent, and he was devastating, absolutely devastating. I don't see that from him no more. I don't see that from him no more. What I see now is that Trent inverts, plays deep lining, sits back a lot, and then as long as we've got the ball, we look fantastic. As soon as we lose the ball on a turnaround, we look extremely vulnerable. I believe we look more vulnerable now with Trent inverting than we did when Trent was just a proper right back, in my opinion. I think we were less vulnerable when Trent was an actual proper right back to now he is inverting. I think we're just getting countered and turned around on constantly. And it's the best way of doing it, and I understand why Klopp doesn't want to put Trent in midfield at the same time. He feels like Trent playing this inverted right back role, going into midfield, he ghosts into them positions basically, so it doesn't get picked up. So his starting position is not in midfield. His starting position is at right back, and he inverts into that midfield area. So he gets there, he sort of ghosts into them positions, so it doesn't get picked up, and you can get him in areas of the pitch that can be more effective. And I get that. I understand the idea of what they're trying to do. I actually think Trent was more devastating and more of an attacking threat when he didn't invert, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys in the chat, but I honestly believe when Trent wasn't inverting, he was actually more of an attacking threat. And that's what we want from Trent. That's the Trent we want, ain't it? Isn't the Trent we all want the Trent Alexander-Arnold who gets like 12, 15 assists every game, like every season? And chances created, how many chances created is he creating games? Yeah, in them sort of wide right areas. Do I want Trent in central areas dictating the game? No, because I think that's a waste of his talent. think it's a waste of his talent. I think them wide right areas in the right hand side of the pitch, taking up them right side of the pitch areas, I think benefits Trent Alexander-Arnold. And playing him inverted, I don't think's benefiting him. He wants to play in midfield, and I get it. I understand it, but the more I've watched it, I've gone back and watched a few games this season, and when I look at it, I'm like, yeah, Trent's a good player, man. He's tremendous on the ball. I understand what Pep Linders and Jurgen Klopp are trying to do here. You know, they want him inverted to get more control. And if he inverts, he goes into midfield so he can't get picked up. I understand it. It makes sense. It makes sense what they're trying to do. But he's not the devastating Trent that he was when he played that marauding fullback role. You know, that fullback that used to push high up, you know, press high up, getting him attacking right areas of the pitch, you know, and just absolutely be devastating, can get shots off, you know, can get passes out, crossing the ball. It was just a threat for us that no one else had in the league, in my opinion. And no one still has in the league, in my opinion. So when people talk to me about Slater, I don't want Trent out of the team at all. So I know when I did this, I did the thumbnail and the title to this video. I had people already moaning and complaining about, oh, it's all reactionary, Trent this, Trent that, and that's why I always tell people, wait to watch the video, man. And if you haven't watched the video and you're just going from a title, watch the video. What I say, I don't want Trent out of the team. I want Trent in better areas of the pitch that can benefit his game. I don't think that's a bad thing to say, is it? Is that a bad thing to say? Guys, in the chat, let me know. Is what I'm saying really that bad? Honestly. You know, I want Trent in more attacking areas of the pitch to benefit his game. Right? Is it really that bad in what I'm saying? I don't think it is. It's not like I want him out of the team at all. Do you know what I mean? Let me share this with you. So this is Trent's sofa score stuff. There's his heat map here. So that's his heat map this season. This is his heat map this season, guys. Yeah. So this is what Trent's been basically. If you look at his heat map here, this half of the pitch, the defensive half of the pitch, is where my cursor is now. That's where Trent spends most of his time inverting. So he inverts into these right areas here, and that's where he sort of spends most of his time. And then he's attacking around here, just over the halfway line. Now, I want these big red markers here where he's inverting. I want that here. Do you see what I mean, guys? I want this where my cursor is now. So, yeah, he's inverting. He's coming into these right sort of DM positions here. That's where he's playing. So that's where he's playing. It's like he's making like a sort of double pivot up. But I want, you see this massive red block here. I want that here, like old Trent getting down. Look, this shows how much Trent doesn't overlap no more as well. Look at these little red markers here. Trent barely overlaps anymore. He barely overlaps anymore. You know, a lot of the red markers are from defensive midfield point of view. That's him getting hold of the ball pretty much in them defensive midfield kind of areas. Obviously, he's all over the pitch, as you can tell with the yellow patches. The red patches is where he spends most of his time. But as you can see, the yellow patches, he's all over the place. You know, he's all over the shop, and he's meant to be a right back. You know, you look at that heat map. That heat map don't tell you right back, does it? That heat map doesn't tell you a right back. And if you look at that right back area, if you look at the heat map, you now understand why I mean about being vulnerable on the defense, guys. Because if you're in these areas here where my mouse cursor is now, if Trent's sitting in these positions here, then the area around here is always vulnerable for counterattacks. You see what I mean? This is my main issue with it. But yeah, it doesn't really overlap anymore. It spends a lot of his time really in his right central midfield position. Which it's absolutely fine. I mean, I just want him in a bit more of an attacking area in the pitch. He's played 21 games this season, started 19, 70 minutes per game. He's got 2 goals this season and 4 assists. So he's got 4 assists and 2 goals this season, playing more of a deep lining sort of midfielder. But for me, Trent's better than that. Trent's better than that. Let's go to 18-19. Look at the difference of the heat map in 18-19, guys. That's when Trent played as a right back. Now, this is what I'm trying to say. Look at the attacking area of the pitch when Trent is playing right back and not inverting. So he's not inverting here into a midfielder. He's not ghosting into midfield. This is Trent, at the best of Trent, playing as right back. Look at these attacking areas. Look at these attacking areas of the pitch. That's Trent as a right back. That's an attacking right back. Look at the attacking areas Trent used to get into. Look how more devastating Trent used to be in. Look at more devastating Trent used to be as a right back than as an inverting right back. Do you see what I mean, guys? And if we go on his 12 assists in 18-19 season, playing as a right back, a natural right back, not inverting, not going into midfield, basically playing that right side of the pitch. Look at the more devastating areas of the pitch he was in. Yeah, right back. Yeah, it's just, let's go to another season. 1920. Again, the same sort of thing. These attacking areas. Look at all this red in these attacking areas of the opposition pitch. As a right back, not inverting, just an up and down right back. He's spending all his time on this right side of the pitch. 2021 season, again, exactly the same thing. Got 2 goals that season, 7 assists in these attacking areas. Still, look at this, 21-22. Look, these attacking areas. Look at this massive red part of the gut. Look at this, where it's attacking so much. So he got 12 assists and 2 goals that season from these attacking areas. And it benefits Liverpool more from an attacking point of view. 2022-23 season. Again, your red areas, he's attacking more, but he's starting to invert this season. He's starting to go into an inverting role last season, getting into these areas of the pitch now. You can see a little bit of difference with the yellow and a little bit of reds where he's going into midfield a little bit. And then going to this season, it's more of the right central midfield area. That's what I'm saying, guys. This is what I'm this is what I'm trying to say. So again, I'm not. If you look at Trent's game from an attacking point, what the hell happened there? Oh, what the fudge is going on here? There you go. So what I'm saying from Trent's point, look, Trent's game, for me, I think he's better as an out-and-out right back without inverting. I think he's defensively better as an out-and-out right back, going up and down the pitch, and he's better at attacking in that position as well. We get Trent in more attacking areas as an out-and-out right back. But when he's playing inverted as he is now, for me, he's more vulnerable defensively. Shame you get X Amster. What's X Amster? Oh, I know what it is now. Aaron, naughty man. But I don't know if you guys think I don't know if you guys think I'm correct or not, but that's just if we go from the heat maps, the attacking positions with the man's quality, he's actually better in attacking areas of the pitch when he was a right back, not an inverted right back. As an inverted right back, he's playing a lot more in this right central midfield area, really. If we look at all the yellow and red, playing that right central midfield area, going out wide when he needs to as well. But he's controlling, he's more of a controller now who can dictate the game with his passing. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing either. People might love that about his game. But I love the Trent that got up and down the pitch, got in them attacking areas of the pitch. Again, let's go back to like the 1920 season and just look at the heat map difference. Look how even his heat map is. Look how even his heat map is back in 19 and 20 season. Defensively and attacking. Extremely balanced. Extremely balanced his heat map is. Where you can see where he's defending and getting in these really good attacking areas where he can benefit the gun. When he can benefit, it benefits us where he's getting in beautiful crosses. He's playing it in the way he naturally does. Look at these attacking areas he's getting in as a right back, not inverting. And then you go to an inverting right back. And it's more defensively minded midfield sort of play. It's just, to me, I think it's clear that if we want the best of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Trent has to play as a natural right back again like he used to. Now, look at his creativity, man. His creativity is mad. Look at his creativity and look at his defending stats there, guys. Look at his creativity and then look at his defending stats. 61 for defending, 86 for creativity. That don't really tell you right back, does it? Does that really tell you right back? Does that say a right back at the moment? And he's attacking his 64. What was it back here? Let's have a look. Look at hang on. So that was 2021 season. 2022 season. So in 2022, he was actually more creative. In the 2022 season, it's actually a little bit more creative with 92. And his attacking was a little bit more as well. And his defending was a bit better. In the 21 season, defending was a little bit better. His creative was around the same. So I can understand why Klopp and Pep Linder's playing there. I really can, but yes. If you that's the 21-20 look, for anyone just joining, this is his heat map today. This is Trent's heat map today as the inverting right back. As you can see, most of the time he's spent in that right central midfield area. This is Trent back when he was a right back, not inverting. That's Trent not inverting as a natural right back. Look at him attacking areas he was getting assists, goals, creativity, goal creations, all up because he's in a better position on the pitch. It's interesting. It's just it's an interesting look at Trent Alexander-Arnold. It really is, and I actually think we defended better. I think we conceded less chances. Now, people will say about, and rightly so, they'll say about midfield cover. And this is my thing about midfield cover. And I said it a minute ago as well, earlier in the show. Trent will be 26 in October. He's not a little kid no more that needs protecting. He's a grown ass man. When are we going to stop having to get midfielders that their sole job is to cover Trent's position when he's getting forward? When we got to stop that? Because where does Szoboszlai, what is Szoboszlai's main job in this team as a right-sided midfielder? What is Szoboszlai's main job in this team as a right-sided midfielder? What do we talk about most of the time about Szoboszlai since he's been at Liverpool? He's running box to box. That's sort of like what Szoboszlai is. He's a runner. He's running from box to box. He's able to cover positions. Yeah, he's able to cover positions because Trent comes inside, pulls. But when Trent inverts and comes into the middle of the pitch, what happens to Szoboszlai? He goes out wide into wide areas of the pitch. Does that suit Szoboszlai's game? No. And then he's got to run up and down box to box while Trent, because Trent hasn't got the willingness to get back and defend. Trent stays in the middle of the pitch and we're getting Szoboszlai going up and down the pitch into fullback areas. And is that what we bought Szoboszlai for, guys? Is that what we bought Szoboszlai for, or did we buy Szoboszlai to be this sort of like attacking-minded midfielder who can create, who can score goals? So Szoboszlai can create and score goals. Do we need Trent coming into midfield to do that job as well? What did we buy McAllister for? We've watched McAllister's game. McAllister's a very good midfielder who can create, who's got a good pass on him. His passing range is excellent. And McAllister, given the chance, can create goal-scoring opportunities. So if you've got players like Szoboszlai and McAllister in the midfield, do you need Trent inverting in midfield? Do you need Trent inverting in midfield? Or do you say to Trent, go back to being a right-back? Go back to being a right back, like we saw in that heat map from 18-19 season, 19-20 season, 20-21 season, 21-22 season, when he's a right back, marauding up and down, benefiting the team better, getting into attacking positions, getting 12, 14 assists a season. Do you need Trent inverting and taking the space and room up for a Szoboszlai and a McAllister where they can create? They can do that job. Yeah. You've got Virgil van Dijk who can hit quality diagonals left and right. You've got Konate now who's starting to bring the ball out from the back and bring the ball into midfield. So again, why do you need Trent inverting from right back into midfield when we have players now who are capable of doing the job that Trent can do in midfield? Am I actually saying anything wrong? Let me know in the chat. Am I actually saying anything wrong here? Or am I just stating actual facts? We haven't got Milner and Henderson in midfield no more. Yeah, we haven't got Henderson and that in midfield. We got players that we bought. We've got players that we bought that are naturally very good in midfield. They are very naturally good in midfield. Szoboszlai, we know what we does. We've watched him at the Red Bull teams. We've watched him with Hungary. He can be a creative midfielder and he can be a goal scorer in midfield. And he's got legs. So you don't need Trent inverting and taking up another position that Szoboszlai can do. You've got McAllister, who's a technical baller in midfield. You don't need Trent coming into midfield to do something McAllister can do. Curtis Jones is a good technical footballer. You don't need Trent to come in and do what Curtis can do. Harvey Elliott, when he comes on, for me, he's better in the more advanced midfield areas than Trent is because he's more natural to it. So you don't need Trent coming in there, inverting as a right back. Just keep Trent as a right back. Go back to the 1920 seasons of Trent. You know, you could, you know, if you've got injuries, then fine. Put Trent in the inverted areas in midfield. I get it. If you've got injuries, because you're losing. If you haven't got a McAllister and Szoboszlai around, then put Trent there. Look, I'd rather Trent now on the right side of midfield, inverting, than playing Gravenberch at this moment in time. Right? So I'll get that. That's fine. But McAllister and Szoboszlai are fit and they're ready to go. And you've got a Curtis Jones who's fit and ready to go. And you've got a Taro Endo who can sit there and do the defensive midfield job. And they're all ready to go. You don't need Trent inverting. Keep the width. Keep the width. Let Trent stay wide. It benefits us more, in my opinion, because we've got the midfielders now who can do that job. For me, Klopp's got to trust them. Klopp's got to trust them. Klopp's got to go to Szoboszlai. I trust you. I trust you to be a midfield creator for us. He's got to go to McAllister. I trust you to be a midfield creator for us. Also, McAllister and Szoboszlai can defend. It's not that they're defending his crap. They're good midfield defenders as well. It's not like you're going to have to tell them that. They naturally got that in the game, especially McAllister. And they got that creative side of their game. They can score goals if you let them be. If you release the reins a little bit. Curtis Jones can do it. I want Trent as a right back. Like he used to be. Like he used to be. That's what I want. Personally. Again, it's just what I want from Trent. It's just, yeah. These adverts do my head, man. So that's his season. Again, there's his that's Trent's map for there. That was before Trent was inverting as a right back. That's before Trent was inverting as a right back. If it hurries up and loads. There you go. There's Trent as a right back. You know, doesn't need to invert. You've got other midfielders that can take the positions. Can you imagine if you tell Trent to stay in these right back here? Look at this heat map here from 1920, yeah? You imagine if you tell Trent to stay in these positions as he is now in 1920, yeah? And you keep Szoboszlai in the middle. And Szoboszlai doesn't need to go into them wide positions because Trent's out there. Can you think of the more creative we'd be? You've got McAllister and Trent. You've got McAllister and Szoboszlai in that midfield area. And you've got Trent in them wide right areas, in the natural where it used to be, these heat maps here, picking up the ball, making runs. Look at the creativity you got. You've got Trent on the right. You've got Salah on the right. You've got Szoboszlai and McAllister in the middle. That just, he doesn't have to invert and come into the midfield because Szoboszlai is there. Szoboszlai should be going, no, stay out there. I can find you out there, Trent. I can get you into positions. And then there's no one better in our team at crossing the ball from them wide areas than you. It just makes sense to me. It just makes sense to me. It really does. And then obviously this season is Trent inverting into these right central midfield areas, not really getting to these wide areas down here no more. Very much sort of like a right-sided midfielder where he's inverting. It's just, that's what I want from Trent. So everyone who keeps saying, no, I don't want Trent in their team, that's not true. I want Trent at right back, being a right back. I don't think we need Trent inverting anymore because we've got the midfielders now. What is the point of buying players like McAllister and Szoboszlai and telling them you can't do that job because Trent inverts? Szoboszlai, you go, Szoboszlai, what I want you to do when Trent's inverting, I want you to pick up the wide areas of the pitch. And I get it. We've been winning games. We've only lost 2 games to Trent inverting. I get it. I do. But Trent is not, for me, as good as an attacking player as he used to be when he used to be an out-and-out right back. That's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. And when players like Szoboszlai and that are injured and Trent's still inverting, we look even more vulnerable defensively because we haven't got anyone with the legs of Szoboszlai who can run back into Trent's right back position to cover with Trent's getting forward. Because we've got no one else there who can do it who's an athlete. You can't really ask McAllister to do it. McAllister's not that kind of midfielder. He played Gravenberch against Arsenal. We all saw how well that went. You know, Gravenberch can't defend like that. So the only real play you got there is Szoboszlai, who can run into then defensive positions and cover if Trent's inverting. But if Trent's not inverting and you keep him as that right back, he doesn't have to do it as much because you can still control the midfield. So it's just, and look, and we've already seen it with our centre backs. Kanate, you know, he got sent off against Arsenal, you know, and he played poorly. All of it weren't Trent's fault, obviously, because Trent went off in the second half. But, you know, you could tell straight away it weren't great. Gerald Kwanzaa the other day. How many times have we seen this season where Gerald Kwanzaa has to lunge in for a tackle in the wide right position? Do you know why he had to lunge in for a tackle in a wide right position? Because if he didn't foul him or get the ball, that player would have been in on goal because it's absolutely opened up the pitch because Trent's inverting and he's in the central midfield position. Go back and look at the replay of it. Trent's not even in the picture when Gerald Kwanzaa makes that tackle. It's interesting. It's interesting. I just feel like Trent should either play right back naturally up and down like he used to, or right wing back. They're his positions. They're his positions, and it can benefit Liverpool massively. Liverpool went free at the back. Trent as right wing back. I'm perfectly happy with. So you're getting Trent in their more devastating attacking areas on the right, on the wide right side of the pitch where he can get the ball. You know, also with Trent in midfield, if he comes inside and goes in that midfield area, Trent's going to be pressed more. He's going to be tackled more, and he's going to have less time on the ball. The reason we all love Trent Alexander-Arnold and we all put his stats up is because most of the time he's playing on that wide right side of the pitch where he's not being pressed, he's got time on the ball, and he's not getting tackled. So he can pick the ball up in them areas of the pitch. Yeah, I think Trent. I think Trent is a tremendous footballer, really is. And again, this video is not about Trent coming out the team. It's not about Trent coming out the team at all. So, if anyone's not watched this video and they've just gone by the title and they think I want Trent out the team, no, please watch the video. If anyone says anything, you guys send them my way. Tell them to watch the video. I actually want Trent to be the right back that he used to be and not inverted anymore. And that's my opinion. It's just my opinion. I just don't think we need him to do. I just don't think we need him to do the inverting job anymore when you've got players like Szoboszlai and McAllister there who can do that job. You know, that's all I'm saying. Look, you can play Trent as a double pivot. But for me, you need a proper enforcer next to him. To play Trent in a double pivot, for me, you need to go and buy a proper enforcing DM. You know, like him next to McAllister wouldn't work for me. Too much of the same player. So you need like a proper enforcing DM who's a smash. Like if you have Polina, so let's put it this way: if Liverpool had Polina, play Polina next to Trent and double pivot would work. So Polina's your enforcer. He smashes everything, wins the ball back, and then Trent's in that double pivot area where he can pick the ball up and dictate play, like an Andrea Pirlo sort of thing. That would work. But Trent alongside of McAllister does not work. It wouldn't work with Endo either because Endo's not a destroyer. You need to play him in a double pivot. Play him in a double pivot with a more of an enforcing midfielder. That would probably be okay. But I just don't see how he plays in midfield at this moment in time in the Jurgen Klopp team. And I've been thinking about this for a while. going back and forward, back and forward, back and forward in this Trent in midfield situation. In a Jurgen Klopp midfield, I don't see how it works. I really don't see how it works. We don't really play with double pivot. We haven't got an enforcer in midfield like a Polinia, like someone like that who's smash, that kind of DM enforcer. We haven't got one of those. If we had one of those, it might work in a double pivot, but we don't play with a double pivot really. We come like we play sometimes with a double pivot if Trent comes on as a substitute in second half in games with 30, 20 minutes to go. We sometimes play with a double pivot and let Trent do his thing, and that works for the 20 or 30 minutes that he's on the pitch for. But for a 90-minute game, I'm not sure. I'm not sure we got the players in the Jurgen Klopp team to put Trent in that position. But we definitely got Trent as a right back. And for me, that's what you should play, man. Just play as a right back. Go back to what Trent used to be. But then there's the thing of, does Trent want to play right back anymore? That's the other thing we got to ask as well. Does Trent actually want to play in that right back position anymore? And if he doesn't, then we might. I don't know what we do. If Trent decides he wants to be a midfielder and that's it, he feels like that's his position now. It'd be interesting next season. What the new manager does. Whoever the new manager is, it'd be interesting to see what they do with certain players in this team. It'd be very interesting to see what they do with Trent. Because most of the world knows Trent as a right back and an attacking right back. That's how most managers know Trent Alexander-Arnold as an attacking right back. Not the best defensive right back in the world. We all agree with that. But probably the best attacking right back in the world. So a new manager coming in might go, I don't need to invert because I've got Szoboszlai, McAllister there. I've got Harvey Elliott, I've got Curtis Jones, I've got whoever new players he might buy, the new manager might bring in. So he's like, I don't need him to invert. I don't need him to go into them spaces of the pitch. What I want from Trent is that attacking Trent I knew when I was watching Liverpool from afar at other clubs. That's the Trent I want again. And that might work out for him. So Trent don't want to be right back. That's another issue we're going to have to take up. So it's interesting, man. But yeah, that's my Trent Alexander-Arnold video, guys. I hope you understand now that obviously I don't want Trent out. I just want him to go back into the old right back role with no inverting. That's all I want Trent. I just want Trent going back into being that world-class right back. He doesn't need to invert going into midfield because we've got players there now who can do that job. Trent is an exceptional footballer in my point of view, who can do whatever he wants on the pitch with the ball in an attacking sense. So get Trent in more attacking areas of the pitch. And as we've seen by his heat map today, Trent is more attacking when he plays as right back than he does when he inverts and goes into midfield. And that benefits Liverpool, in my point of view. So it's an interesting take on it. Trent will be good this season still, no matter what, in my opinion. When he comes back from injury, when he's fit again, a fit Trent, he will play good games inverting in that role. I've got no doubt about that or anything like that. I just feel like we're more vulnerable and it doesn't benefit Trent. That's just my opinion. As a right wing back in the back three, Trent could cook. I've said this for about 3 years now. Even before I started doing YouTube, I've always said it. Play a back three and Trent as right wing back in them attacking areas of the pitch where he doesn't really have to worry about the defensive so much because he's got 3 defenders behind him. And if you're playing for a 3 at the back, 1 defender will pull across, and you've got midfielders also that will come into that area. Trent can concentrate more on that right sided of the pitch where he can be devastating. Yeah, man, I'm all for that. But guys, thank you very much for joining me. I do appreciate it, guys. Really do. Leave any comments below. Thank you very much, guys. And yeah, I might be back later tonight, or I might be back tomorrow. So I've got another video I want to talk about that probably get me cancelled. But big up. Thank you very much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Appreciate it. Don't forget to smash the likes on the way out. and subscribe as well. Bye bye.